Welcome to London. Yes, I'm back and I'm in another rose garden. I made a video a couple of months ago from Queen Mary Rose Garden, the Queen Mary Rose Garden in Regent's Park. And here I am. There's not so many roses now, it's August. I am in Hyde Park and I am just about to commence a 7-mile walk through 4 of the royal parks of London. And this is a very special walk, and if you look at that statue, you can't quite see because of the angle I'm at. That statue is Diana, the Roman goddess, the goddess of childbirth, fertility, the moon, the underworld. Later on she was said to be the goddess of hunters, but I think it was more that she was very connected to nature and the cycles. So, does that give you a hint? I am about to start doing the Princess Diana Memorial Walk, and I've started from Hyde Park corner, and it's actually, the walk itself goes through almost like a figure 8, an infinity symbol from Hyde Park corner. One side's a bit bigger than the other. That's the side I'm about to do now, which is Hyde Park, Kensington Gardens, and then when I come back and loop around, I'll be doing the other side, which is Green Park and St James's Park. And it's basically sites connected to Princess Diana. Why on earth, you might think, am I doing something to do with Princess Diana? It's because it's become very clear for me in my time walking the Rose Line, which is what I've called this 4-month European sacred site pilgrimage that I've been doing and I've been creating these videos for. It's become very clear to me that Princess Diana is part of the Rose Line. She was here to activate the codes of the Rose Line. And it is so interesting that on this 7-mile walk, there are, I think it's about 90 of these emblems or symbols that are in the ground to guide you on the walk, which shows a rose within it. And that's the symbol of the Princess Diana Memorial Walk. So I am literally walking the Rose Line. I am following the path that's been laid out, which, as I said, forms, it's sort of a distorted infinity symbol because it's a bit angular, but basically that's what I'm going to be walking today. This is my last day in Europe. I fly out tonight to Singapore and then on home to Brisbane. And I really wanted to do this, to finish this trip. I felt so drawn to walk this path. I don't know why. I really am not sure why this is the way that I'm being called to complete this journey, but it's so strong, and I feel really excited. I even feel a little bit emotional about it. So as I'm walking this journey, I'll take a little bit of video if there's anything that feels very prominent for me, very connected to the Rose Line, and I'll share it here. I'll put a little clip together, but I would like to take you on this walk with me, and in doing that, know that we are activating the codes of the rose grid that's in the earth here in London. There's been several beings of the Rose Line that I've channeled who are connected to London, and some of them would surprise you. I won't go into those here. I'll do a video on those another time. But Diana is certainly the most recent. Many of them have been centuries ago. And so when she came through, she came through in a couple of activations that I've recently recorded for ladies in my Patreon group, the Rose Line. And her energy was just so strong. And then the fact that one of you viewers happened to mention to me about this symbol that had the blue rose in it. And when I Googled it, it took me here. It was the symbol for this memorial walk. So thank you so much for mentioning that, because that was me following the rose petals. I followed those rose petals and it's led me here, and I don't know what adventure I'm going to have today as I walk these 7 miles, but I will share what I feel to with you so that you can also be activated and help to activate what's in the land here. Surely this walk is over the codes of the rose line that are held in the earth here. That's why it's been created, even if it wasn't conscious. So I'm very excited to begin. So I'll get going now and enjoy whatever comes after this, whatever I film and share with you. Enjoy this London experience. Thank you for walking the rose line with me in these 4 months that I've been in Europe. All the videos are linked below if you want to watch any of them and experience the activation that comes from the codes held in these sacred lands that are connected to the rose. As I continue to follow the rose petals, look what I come to. The white swans and the serpentine. So, paying attention to these rose petals. The white swans, ancient symbol, the goddess, and the serpentine. Serpent, the snake, the dragon, symbols of the ancient earth energy. So the next stop is the Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fountain. So just showing you this, the water flows, I'll read it while I'm showing. The water flows from the highest point in 2 directions. It cascades, swirls and bubbles before meeting in a calm pool at the bottom. So I'm trying to read and show you. The water is constantly being refreshed and is drawn from the chalk aquifer over 100 meters below ground. So it's this beautiful circular fountain. And there's 3 little bridges crossing it so that you can access it. And obviously, which is very appropriate, the kids love it. So now we bring in the water energy of the feminine, the ancient feminine water line, the Mer line, the Mary line, connected with Diana. And now I'm in Kensington Gardens, and there's Kensington Palace in the background. That's probably the place I associate most with Princess Di. I, to be honest, don't know that much about her. I've never been a royalist, and I've been down too many rabbit holes to ever become one. But she certainly seemed to carry a light. She brought a light, and everyone felt it, regardless of what you thought about the royal family. Everyone felt that light, and Kensington Palace definitely has an association for me with Di. It's been really interesting even getting this far into the walk. Like life, following the rose petals can be quite difficult. I think I've walked twice as far as I was supposed to walk in following the map, because I haven't always seen the rose petals and I've detoured. And eventually I've come back and found the rose petal. Oh, there's the emblem on the ground to keep me on track. And this is really important about life. We follow the rose petals, we follow the synchronicities, but we don't always see them. And they're just not obvious, they're subtle, and this is what life is all about. This is about fine-tuning our sensitivity to seeing the rose petals, to hearing them, to feeling them. And so far, that's what this walk has done. I'm not sure that I'm going to get all the way around, not if I keep taking detours, just like life. But anyway, I've made it as far as Kensington Palace. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over all the fun, but on the other side of those trees is probably the thing that captures the essence of Diana the most, and that's the Diana Memorial Playground. And I can't go in there because I don't have children, and obviously I didn't want to film close. Not now, not these days. But you can hear there's a little carnival behind me too, and just feeling the spirit of this. You know, as I said, interesting that the Roman goddess Diana was about fertility and childbirth. And of course, Diana represented children and joy. And I think she was a nursery teacher, I seem to recall, before she got married. And that was so much a part of her and her philanthropy. And so this is such an important aspect of the rose line. It's about joy. Look at this. It's about having fun. It's allowing the child within to have full expression. This is such a vital part of the rose line. So this is a perfect anchor point almost for Diana's energy, and anchoring the joy and the play and the childlike wonder and curiosity into the rose line, activating it into the rose line, activating it in yourself. And as I stand in front of the statue of the magical Peter Pan, I am reminded of the magic and the magic of life. And this continues on from what I was just saying about the childlike curiosity and wonder, but also that we are magical beings. And through our joy and play is how we create magic. And something else I just want to share, because I've just realized that all of those markers in the ground are placed at intersections, and every time there is a rose, there is actually an arrow showing you where to go. And I didn't notice that before. Isn't that so typical of following the rose petals? We turn a blind eye to the obvious. And this sculpture is called The Arch by Henry Moore, and it looks over the Serpentine, and although you probably can't see it, that is Kensington Palace right at the end. Let's zoom in for you. There we go. This feels like quite a power spot where this has been placed. And look, I have learned to read the signs. Look, fork in the road, you come to the Parque. Oh, this is the way I go. What a lesson in how to walk your rose line. The signs are always there. You just have to learn to read them. Well, I have just about completed the walk. I crossed the central point of the lemniscate, the figure 8, the infinity symbol, through the rose garden, and then came to the right-hand side. As you look at the map, I came to the right-hand side. And one of the first places you encounter is Buckingham Palace. And it was so interesting how the energy changed. Almost as soon as I left the left-hand side, the longer side, and then came into this right-hand side and hit Buckingham Palace, it was a masculine energy. And even the walk then through St. James's Park and here through Green Park, it didn't feel the same. It felt more, the nature feels a little bit more controlled and contained. And I just had this interesting sense as I crossed that central point and then hit the wall of Buckingham Palace. It was like, no, you can't go into this part. So it's so strange. This is part of her memorial walk, and yet it feels like she was not allowed to come this side. She didn't make it to Buckingham Palace. This side just, as I say, feels much more masculine. It feels like this is the entry into sort of the patriarchy. No further. It's just a really interesting energy. So the walk on this side I haven't enjoyed nearly as much as the walk on the other side, which I felt captured a lot more of her essence. I often visualize the infinity symbol for the rose line because I see it as the harmony of the feminine and masculine. And Diana brought a very strongly feminine energy, and as she grew older and once she birthed her children, a more empowered feminine energy into a very deeply rooted patriarchal system. And she didn't make it. She shone her light, and it feels like the system was stronger at that time. And this was the case for so many of the Roseline beings that I have connected in with, have channeled, so many of them. But it's different now. The times, they've changed. This is New Earth now. We are integrating the dark goddess that has been denied for so long, the earthly goddess. We are now integrating her with the white goddess, the cosmic mother energy. There was a separation. There was a separation of the white goddess and the dark goddess, and the dark goddess was made wrong, the earthly goddess. We are integrating it now, and we are bringing it into alignment with our masculine energy. And this is the place of power. And we are doing this now. This is what the Roseline is all about at this time. This is why there are so many of us remembering our connection to the Roseline, remembering the path of the rose. We are here activating the rose grid that is in this earth, that has been activated and strengthened by all of these beings who've come before, holding the codes of the rose, ready for us now. So I've been pondering, what's the reason that I felt drawn to walk this path today? And truly, I think it is what I so often say when I'm called to places on the earth. I have something for this land, and this land has something for me. So in some way, my codes, the codes of my energetic being, were feeding this land, and the codes held in this land, the Roseline codes that are reawakening, had something to activate in me. And how profound that I did it through walking the figure 8. So if you find yourself in London, I would highly recommend walking the Roseline with Diana. There's going to be a lot more come to me around this, I'm sure, as I integrate it. But right now, I need to get a tube to Heathrow Airport and prepare myself for the 13-hour flight to Singapore ahead. One thing's for sure, after this 7 miles of walking, I will sleep on the plane. See you soon from Australia. Rose blessings to you.